What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Here to bring you another predictions video for what is going to be a jam-packed, and I've said that for a few battle rap weekends, but this is going to be ridiculous this upcoming weekend. Already talked about Philadelphia. Trenches the day after. I want to get a video out for that if I can before the week's out. Trenches tryouts the day before Philadelphia. Also, no entourage card. Tay-Rock's got a card in there with Lady Caution versus KCJ. And now URL adds Outside 5 on December 7th. And this is not just like some whatever app card to throw in. I don't know if it's going to be a strictly app card if they plan on streaming it. But this card is like really, really, really good. This is actually one of the better cards that URL has put out in all of 2025. Let me see. There's 6 matchups on the card. It's pretty much all like high-level action, and even there's a grudge match in here, a couple storylines. So I've seen mostly positive reaction to it, and I thought Philadelphia would be the last like meaningful, but that whole weekend in Philly would be the last like meaningful battle rap that goes down. But this absolutely is going to have a hand in it. There's guys that are even on the Philadelphia card. So there's some people that are going to be doing double duty that weekend. And then on top of that, battles that like have value to the overall Cody implications, momentum for top battlers, and just a few different things I'm excited about. So I really, really like the card on paper. And, let's start from the bottom of the card. So first battle is Danny Myers versus Dice. And this is a textbook bar fest. This is a puncher versus a puncher, nothing more, nothing less. And I think can add to being a very good battle. We know Danny gives anybody wreck, gives anybody a shot, and in 2025, this is a very good Danny Myers year. Besides the fact he was giving passwords out to people we shouldn't give passwords out to, the actual rapping in Danny's year has been great. Just coming off another win versus Jakkboy, where he was really good, rounded the battle in the third. His Lou Castro battle just dropped on Public Influence, won that battle versus a good Lou Castro. It's just been on and on with Danny this year, just good performance after good performance. And versus Dice, who, out of that whole Crucible top 12, 2-6 classes, it was like with the Flair and Foots and then Yunus and Musa and them got added after. But Dice, to me, was always one of my favorite prospects. And even if you haven't heard of Dice before, watch Chess versus Dice. It's a one-round battle. It's a good chess, too. He's not bullshitting. And such a good battle. And Dice can be so good. I just don't think he'll ever fully like commit to battle rap. I think he's like an engineer or something outside of battle rap, living real good. And he's like, I think he's even talked about like just not always being active. Like he's not gonna be like the full-time battle rapper. So I'm not gonna trick myself into thinking he is gonna be. I think he could be really good for this battle. But Danny is a pro's pro. And that's going to be the difference between someone who's not always that active. So I think Dice will be good. Danny will be better. Danny 2-1. Then everything else is like super name versus name action. Mike P versus Yunus. That's a good battle right there. And I know Mike P was talking about he wants to possibly spin back to URL, get that Yunus battle done or battle him on the way out, because this has been the retirement tour for Mike in 2025. But I'll tell you what, Mike P does good enough. This is a good enough battle right here. Maybe we'll just stop hearing about a retirement tour. We'll see Mike P a little more often. I don't know how committed he is to just like stepping out of the game no matter what, but seeing him back on URL is dope. And it's been enough time too that there is fresh matchups here. I mean, there was always fresh matchups, but sometimes you just need a reset. They obviously did not leave on the best of terms, but a lot of people have not left URL on the best of terms and came back. I think that now the microscope is super on top of like league and battler relations, and that used to happen a lot. Like a lot of our legends have told URL to fuck off, not talk for like half a year, and then just went right back to booking battles before everything made it to the internet, every detail, and blase. But Mike P and Yunus is a great return battle for Mike. It's also a good matchup for Yunus, and not to compare it too much, but, with King versus Mike P just recently, I think that ended up being a good look. A little bit more of a specific style clash with them both doing, like, Dragon Ball Z stuff in their round, type, kind of as their persona. But it's still, a young pen that's looking like he's on the verge of stardom versus Mike, who's a challenge for any battle rapper, but I think specifically could mesh well style-wise here, since they both have a very good pen and writing prowess under all of their other strengths. So obviously it's a matchup that I like. I think it's a good challenge for Yunus. With the year Yunus is having, Gnome debut, SM debut, consistent he took the Lowe's Preem loss, but consistent performances, confidence should be at an all-time high. Everything's pointing towards Yunus in this battle, but something's telling me Mike P, who was already good versus King, will be even another step up from that battle. Maybe the chip on his shoulder from coming back to URL after leaving and doing his own thing. I don't know, but something about this is telling me we're going to get not just a good Mike P, we might get a great Mike P. So I think we're going to get a really good Yunus too. I think there's a chance that this might be the best battle of all these 6 battles here. I think it has this and maybe one other battle I'll talk about in a second, but I got Mike P 2-1 edge versus Yunus. Just something is telling me it's not based off the recent form or current momentum, anything like that, but Mike P at his best. Have we seen a Yunus as good as like at a Mike P at like 100 yet? You know, there's debates there, but I got the vet with this one, man. I got Mike P 2-1 edge, and I see it being a very, very good battle no matter how it ends up playing out. From there, we have Miss Hustle versus Lou Castro. I like this battle. And this isn't even a battle. You told me this battle 2 years ago, I would have hated it. I would have told you this was the worst matchup on the card. We're just throwing names in a hat and pairing them against each other. But with the resurgence of Lou Castro in 2025, and yeah, he's got the animated and the jokes and the big dog energy, but like he's really rapping again. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to win battles in there, and not that I think he's just been undefeated this year or anything. He's got a couple losses, but he also beat Loso. You know what I'm saying? He also has the Chef Trez battle, which is genuinely debatable. Like, I have Trez, but I think every round of that battle is debatable. So, obviously, I think highly of Lou's year. I think he's doing good things. Even when he just lost to Danny recently, he's not, like, bad in that battle. He's good. Danny's just great. And this is versus a Miss Hustle who, she went through a lot this year. And between the loss to T-Top and the ghostwriting scandal, like ramping up again, everything with Danny and all that, it feels like it's been a harsher year than it really has because she's got the Hitman battle, which was fire for her. The O-Red rematch, which I didn't even want. I thought it was whatever. And then it ended up being a really good battle. The Real Deal battle, nobody liked that matchup or understood it. That ended up being one of the best battles of Apollo's first day. So she's just like, she's knocking him down, man. Miss Hustle's really been doing her thing, you know, like, down from her other years, but she's like a Wody winner. So, like, yeah, if it's not top of the level, it's kind of a step down. So then she's got Lou, and because Lou will leave that door open, or on the content side, a top tier might just do a little bit more while he matches in the entertainment department. I'm going to go Miss Hustle 2-1, but it's not like a super clear, confident 2-1. Lou Castro could definitely win this battle, especially with like the energy around Hustle's name. It feels like it's a time that's a little bit easier, or I don't know if easier is the word, but if there's ever a time Lou Castro could catch a W on her, it is right here. But, you know, as for now, I am going to go with the person who's still been consistent this year, even with her character and a couple things a little bit more in question than usual, which is saying something considering this is Miss Hustle. But either way, I'm going Miss Hustle 2-1. And so far, that is 3 out of 3 matchups that I really like. And then you get to the top of the card, and it just gets even better. A-Ward versus Jakkboy Maine, which is a good grudge match. It's the grudge match of the card that I was referring to a bit earlier. But not only does it just make me think back to around the Midnight Madness time and when this grudge was going down, but all the little pieces that bring it together. You know, Jakkboy saying that, you know, and everyone, if A-Ward wants to get on URL, he has to go through Jakkboy or none. You remember that time? Obviously, we're past the whole A-Ward already debuted on SM, but then you come back to this battle. Jakkboy is finishing his arc of battling all the horsemen. You know, he battled Saga, beat Saga. He battled Oops, whooped on Oops. Battled Loso, clearly beat Loso last year on Nexus. I don't think a lot of people remember that. And now, not only does he battle Ward, who he's been wanting to battle, said that's his arch nemesis, right? But it's the best horseman left. Like, it's the one that's reached the highest highs. And it's happening on URL, which was always such, if there was intrigue at one point in time, that was the intrigue behind it. So it's a battle that for Jakkboy, you have to be motivated. I know he hasn't been clean lately, and it's affected him in the win-loss department, but he still gives good material. First round versus Tay-Rock. First 2 rounds versus Danny, he just choked the battle away, but he was competing. If he can have that material, which he should for this battle, and lock in and be clean, you're going to get one of the best Jakkboys you've seen in a minute. And then you have A-Ward. The interesting part here is that he's one of the people doing double duty this weekend. You know, him and then Chef Trez, who we'll talk about in a second, but he's battling Jay the Nightwing, Philadelphia Saturday, flying over to Orlando to battle Jakkboy the next day on that Sunday. Some people aren't going to like that. I'm not mad at you. It's further evidence of the oversaturation of battle rap, but always looking at things from a Cody point of view, A-Ward's having one of the best years of 2025. If he was to beat Jay, day after, go beat Jakkboy when it's a grudge match and means everything to Jakkboy, who should be in good form, I mean, that's a way to close the year. Already someone high up in that conversation. So I'm looking at Ward like it's a tall task, but he's got the skill set for it. And two good matchups. Of course, I love the Jay the Nightwing matchup for more style-driven reasons. And then I love the Jakkboy matchup for more story-driven reasons. So, lot to take in, you know what I'm saying? Pause if necessary. A lot to look at with battles like this and analyze who will get the better performance of the two. Well, his J material he's had since Exodus, so does he just tweak it and he just has to write fresh Jakkboy material? We'll see. But with that being said, I'm just a believer in the talent gap Ward has above Jack. It's not astronomical, but it is there. It's a top tier battle rapper compared to a non-top tier battle rapper, and it's, you know, I see Jakkboy doing very good in the battle, maybe even getting the first round, starting off explosive, but I see Ward 2-1, maybe getting the second and the third, and even if it's a super close battle, maybe just edging the battle. So looking forward to it, and a sneaky good booking there from URL. And a lot of these are good, but, you know, I wouldn't have thought of, you know, it felt like Ward and Jack's storyline in past. I wouldn't have thought of Miss Hustle versus Luke Castro. You know, like there's some good battles here. And then the top two, T-Top versus Kid Slade. I love this battle. This is my favorite battle on the card. This is the battle I'm taking above Mike P versus Yunus for Battle of the Night. But the more I talk myself into it, maybe Ward and Jakkboy's in that convo. It's just a very good card matchup-wise. But T-Top and Slade felt like back when Slade was on his original run. After the Stumbles battle, looked like he could do no wrong. They kind of rushed to that Rock battle. I always thought, maybe in hindsight, if T-Top had the paperwork first, I mean, God knows, we probably wouldn't be talking about Kid Slade, right? It'd be a whole different story, but I wanted that matchup. That was like the top tier back when people wanted T-Top for Swamp as a matchup. And that was like the top tier to go earn his way up to. I felt like that with Slade, and now he's battled a bunch of top tiers. He's been through ups and downs, good results, bad results, but this is still one I always wanted. Of course, they can both get into the drug talk bag, big part of how T-Top came up in the game. A big part of how Kid Slade came up in the game. Still a big part of Slade's style too. But Top can get in that bag. He's going to have his angles about the paperwork. We'll see if he can execute it as good now that we're years removed. People have tried it. And I just think it means a lot for Kid Slade. He gets the Wusa Twerk loss. He's not bad in that battle, but he lost. Victory versus Wusa. Right? Very good in that battle. Love his third round. If he's able to go here and wild out versus T-Top, I don't know because he's already battled so many top tiers, but puts you in a really good spot, man. I think this is a battle that T-Top's known for inconsistent efforts, and it's December. You're going to be seeing battlers collect Christmas checks, usually from smaller leagues. T-Top and Geechi, who we'll talk about, two guys I worry about. Just battling in December, literally that just worries me. It's that simple. T-Top a year ago battled Wusa late December and choked and stumbled through that battle. Material was good, but he kind of didn't care. Enough of a liability, and I'm enough of a believer in Kid Slade where I feel confident taking Kid Slade 2-1 in this battle. And if T-Top really just fucks around like he did versus Wusa last year, or like he's done in a couple battles this year, Kid Slade could 30 him. If the Kid Slade that showed up for Wusa, the clean this time, not even the stumble in the first, versus T-Top that's like half and half, he can absolutely 30 him. But I'm going to go with 2-1. I'm hoping it's a good T-Top, so it's a good battle. And of course, he has more than the capabilities of beating Slade, but I'm going with the motivation of Slade and how much I just think this is a good matchup for him. And then that leaves you with the main event, Geechi Gotti versus Chef Trez. Like, this card is fucking fantastic, man. But, even a little bit more worried about effort here because I could see a world where Gotti is like his 60% good. You know, at first Fonz on Gnome, I thought he was like this. Just a few battlers were very fire for a round, pretty good for a round, and then a freestyle round. And versus some battlers, that absolutely works. Like that will get you through the door. Not versus Chef Trez, who for the last 3 years has just been one of the best battle rappers in the world. If it's a low tier, he's going to smoke him and body him. If it's an up-and-coming star, a low supreme type of guy, go have a great battle with him. New Age UM1 type of cats to go. He's been calling out sick. Him and Fonz was absolutely fire. Like, him and Luke Castro was fire, right? Top tiers. Well, he beat John in Atlanta going back, like, I guess it's almost 2 years ago now. Had a really good debatable battle with Twerk. Had a very good debatable battle with Av. Pretty much 3-0'd Tay-Rock, or at least cleared Tay-Rock. So, Chef Trez is battling at the highest of levels, and it's just hard to pick against him with anybody. Even if Geechi Gotti, you told me, was at the very least going to show up 80% like a real applied Geechi, I'd still find it hard to pick Geechi because that's just how much confidence I have in Chef Trez as an all-around battle rapper. Anytime, any place, and he's doing double duty as well, just like Ward. He's battling Real Deal on Saturday, flight over, battling Geechi Gotti the next day, so that's even more added pressure. If he gets a fully, a Geechi that showed up versus like an Easy or a Hitman, that seems to be the few times he saves himself, like the best version of himself in battles is for battles like that. But if he has that respect for Trez, which he should, this could sneak up and then be like an amazing battle to end the year. Like their talent level put against each other, but there's enough question marks for me with Geechi Gotti, and then there's no question marks with me for Chef Trez. Even battling back-to-back days. He battled Fonz 24 hours before he battled Los Prime. Look at how good those battles are. So I'm going Chef Trez 2-1, and he's going to be closing on what could be another top 5 year for him, because that's just the type of battler he's turned into at this point in his career. But I'm hoping that Geechi really shows up, but look how many battles I said could be great. Geechi and Trez, T-Top and Slade, Ward and Jakkboy, Hustle and Lou, Mike P and Yunus, Danny and Dice. There is a world where all 6 of these battles are good, with some of them being great. So shout out URL. And I hope they stream it. Not sure if they will. It's an outside card. I don't know if they've streamed any of the other 4 outside cards, but if they did, it would be pretty fucking cool because it's an amazing card on paper. And if not, I'm still going to definitely, I'll even make it a bigger emphasis to review some of these battles. I'll do the whole recap for the event, but a couple battle reviews as well and get really in the details with these. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of this card? What are you rating it on paper? Even people I've seen critical of some URL cards this year have given this one a lot of love. So how do you feel about it? Who are your picks for winners? Battle of the Nights? You agree or disagree with anything I said? Of course, always let me know in the comment section down below, man. But it's been Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.